Hello everyone and welcome back. So, got another treat for you guys. This is going to be another challenge. I'm going to be playing the wonderfully talented Belle, who is, I think, starting to come back to Shogun 2. I sent her a friendly offer to play a little Shogun 2, seeing as the game is much better balanced now and actually pretty playable. So she agreed to that, and so we are doing a little challenge series here. We did 3 matches. This is the first of them. Now this battle is of course sure to be extremely corrupted. So if you want to see this battle in its full, live, uncorrupted glory, head over to her channel. I put it in the link description at the bottom there. It's really a great channel. You can see a lot of great videos from her. She takes a very missile-heavy army most of the time, so if you like that sort of thing, you'll love her channel. Anyway, let's take a look at what the armies are going to be like. What we have here on my side, we got 3 bow samurai for me, all 3 veterans. I know she likes going missile-heavy, so I brought a little stronger missile support here. 6 katana samurai and 2 yari samurai, of course, making my standard infantry line. And for the cavalry, we have 2 lights and a katana, I believe. Is this over here? Maybe it was 3 light cavalry. That's odd. Oh yeah, it was. It was 3 light cavalry. No need to have katana cavalry, really, if you're going against mostly missile troops and things like that. So anyway, let's take a look at Belle. A little more eclectic setup. She's got the bow cavalry, of course, 2 of them. Of course, her extremely dangerous bow general as well, along with the light cavalry. And back here we have some yari cavalry too. So pretty big cavalry complement. Going to be a lot of work for my yari samurai. Her melee line is going to be mostly no dachis and katana samurai. Oh, excuse me, folks. I forgot to go offline. Admiral Price invited me to 2v2. Sorry, but I can't do that right now. Sorry about that, folks. Anyway, we're at Shogun River. I love this map. You might recognize this from the first challenge I did with Grotto in the first match. Seeing as she hasn't played the game in quite a while, she didn't know any of the maps or hadn't remembered them, so she deferred to me to choose the maps. I chose Shogun River for the first one. I really like this map. Just the 4 little compass points here of the hills and the forest with the shrine right in the middle. Rivers all around the side. I just love this map. It's a lot of fun to play on. Plenty of room to skirmish, plenty of room to hide up in the trees, maneuvering, ambushes, all kinds of things can happen on this map, so I definitely love it. Sending my cavalry out first to take the shrine, very risky move, seeing as she has so many bow cavalry. She can easily come out here and stop it, but I'm going to take the risk anyway. Light cavalry's running out and dismounting, going in loose formation too, to keep him alive as long as possible so we can capture the shrine. Retrospect, maybe wasn't such a good strategy because she could just walk some bow cavalry here and just kind of, stop my cap, so maybe not the best thing. It ends up working out pretty well for me. Flag's going up there pretty quickly, and she's going to stay here on the perimeter and never quite comes in and blocks my capturing. So these light cavalry are going to be able to get it. I ended up sacrificing that unit. The horses all scatter after that volley, so this light cavalry is going to essentially be useless, but as long as I can get this shrine, I will be happy. Cavalry's moving up on the flank too, ready to chase off her skirmishers. Something very important in this battle that she probably didn't anticipate is this light cavalry here has speed upgrades, 4 of them if I recall correctly. So a very fast cavalry unit. It's going to be able to catch up to her bow cavalry and her general, more importantly. So something very dangerous for her to have to deal with. Now I do there end up getting the shrine. My bows are there also to counter her bow cavalry and just keep them pushed back. Don't want them ripping up my melee line too much. I'll go into triple speed here so we can kind of speed things up. Other light cavalry is moving out too. Now here's where I just went for it. My Perceptive scouts here are going to try and smash her general. She pulled up to go and hit my guys, but here I go, and I'm going to actually end up catching her general right there, and we got him. She bonsais into me too, but I do end up hitting her general with a decent charge. Already killed 7 men, and just going to try and take out her general. Now it's pretty risky for me because that leaves only 1 cavalry unit essentially on my side, and it's just 1 light cavalry. Now she has 3 yari cavalry, so I'm not going to be able to block charges effectively with cavalry, and I only have 2 yari samurai, so a very dangerous position for me right now. And I didn't do as much damage as I wanted to her lines. I killed a few light cavalry, I killed a few bow cavalry, I got her general pretty well, but other than that, she is still in good shape, and I'm down on cavalry, so not looking too great for me right now. I do have a nice bow support core right here behind my katanas. I'm kind of setting up here with my spears on one side to kind of deflect the bows. Now she's going to come right out at me with the no dachi charge. And I'm going to try and counter that as best as possible, but I was a little slow on the uptake. Normally you just want to send 1 unit to try and absorb that whole charge. I ended up sending pretty much all of my units available to hit it, split up there. Probably shouldn't have worried about the Yari Samurai and sent my katanas over here to hit her katanas coming up. So I'm filling in the gaps here, and things are not looking too good for me right now, definitely. My light cavalry is going to stay away from the infantry fight right now. I'm just going to come back and be anti-cavalry. So will this light cavalry coming up to guard as well. My general is sitting here in the middle with his bows out. As you know, he is now leadership general with some bow effectiveness. So he's going to be shooting the enemy too. I'm popping my rally too because I can't afford for anything to go wrong. Tried to flank here with these katanas to try and take out this little group here. Didn't quite make it around because he did get stuck. Her bow cavalry is shooting into my rear, but I have a light cavalry there to stop it, and so they're not going to do too much. My spear micro is pretty decent. Actually has been pretty decent lately. So I was able to keep that wall up there to keep her cavalry from doing any serious damage to my main infantry line. But this katana unit will get pretty much hammered by this cavalry. So along the infantry front, I'm in stand and fight now, so I'm going to have a little bit of a melee advantage. Her units are almost entirely fresh. I think they are actually entirely fresh. I don't think she really uses veterans that much. So she does get around into my bows, but loving the bow samurai, not just going to, you know, rout like wusses. They're actually going to stand and fight and do a pretty decent job. The spear's going to come around to cover as well, and so now my line is holding pretty well with that elite core of katanas. Now, I have had people say on her version of the video that the only reason I won is because of my veterans, and that's technically true, but look what I had to sacrifice to bring these veterans. I had basically no cavalry in this fight. Mostly just a few light cavalry, which I had to use very judiciously, even though I didn't use them as judiciously maybe as possible, but I really had to stretch myself thin, and keep these bows alive too. That was a big factor as well. So there are other things I had to do as well. Keeping my infantry line intact, managed to stop her cavalry from doing any really serious damage to my line. The spears are here also to cover, and not going to make it to my swords. The melee line's actually doing quite well over here with the stand and fight. She did end up routing it, but this katana is still standing strong with 84 men. The main line is holding up. My spears are going to also cover this. Her Yari Samurai almost made it to hit my rear, but again stopped by the maple spears. Let's check around. Yeah, I forgot about that light cavalry, but the bows are still okay. They're getting into position to start firing as well. Don't think they've used their fire arrows. I'll probably be using that soon if I remember correctly. But it's just going to basically be a big brawl. But I have the advantage now with elite katanas and the stand and fight leadership general. But that's when one of my light cavalry, who only has about half his men left, actually a little less than that, but that's going to be enough to get a nice, almost downhill charge into the rear of her katanas, and that's going to send wavering all over her line. Both sides have popped their rally, so it's going to be a brawl to the end. Her general is down. She brought it into melee to try and win the fight there, but I ended up killing her. Or maybe I didn't kill the general, but anyway, she is routed and gone from the field. Actually, this battle wasn't too corrupt. This seems pretty close to how it actually happened, so alright, glad to see that. Infantry line managed to hold strong, kept all that cavalry away from hitting my rear in the weak spots. Both samurai did a decent job of holding up as well, and were able to just tear up the katanas after the threat had passed. So ended up pulling out this battle. It was fairly close, but still a pretty decisive win on my part. We'll see if I can get another decisive win in game 2, but you'll have to wait a little on that. There's the rest of the shattering. Actually, this pretty uncorrupt. I'm sort of impressed. Kind of sad when you actually have to be impressed by it working, but you know, hey, not bad. Anyway, really fun battle. She is a little rusty, but I think she still got it. We'll see if she keeps playing and keeps this streak going. Anyway, guess that's all. Thanks for watching, everybody.